Students, we are going to start today a new topic which is known as time and work. I am going to share a PPT with you. Today I am going to start with you time and work. To solve sums related to the time and work, you just need to remember one small tip, and that is nothing but just invert. Yes, invert. What does that mean? Let us see. Say if you are given a value, say n. Here it is n. On inversion, how much be the value? It would be c 1 upon n. And if you are given 1 upon n and on inversion, what you will get? You will get n. Inverting means just take this over here and this over here. 1 by n on inversion, we will get n. N on inversion, we will get 1 by n. This is the tip that will be useful to solve sums related to time and work, pipes and systems, and also sometimes work and wages. See one example. Total work in 30 days. Then in one day, 1 by 30 amount of work is done. If total work done in 30, total work is done in 30 days, then in one day, 1 by 30 amount of work is done. Now let us take an example and understand what exactly we are talking about inverting. Say if total work can be done in 30 days, then in one day, how much work is done? 1 by 30. Because we just inverting. So in one day, 1 by 30 amount of work is done. That means we are converting days to work. Same way, the opposite. If in one day, 1 by 30 amount of work is done, in how many days total amount of work would be done or total work would be finished? Simply invert. And what we get? 1 by 30 on inversion. We will get 30. So here we converted work to days. So we can go from days to work and works to day by just inverting. If they have given total work and we have done in these many days, so in one day how much work would be done? Simply invert it. And if they have given one day work, then to find total number of days for finishing the work, simply invert it. After this, another very small concept which we have learned right from childhood, that is nothing but if you work more, time needed would be less. Time needed less means number of days needed would be less. Now again, if you are completing some days, if you are completing some works using 10 men, now if you employed 20 men, what will happen? That means if number of men increases, amount of work done will increase because 20 men will do more work, and if more work is there, that means number of days would decrease or the time required would be decreased. If man increases, work increases, more man will do more work, so number of days will be less. So these two very simple things which we know are common sense. These two will be used for solving sums related to time and work. Let us see how to apply inversion and these small tricks to solve the sums. Here are some formulas: work from days and days from works and number of days. Now see one example question. A man can work 5 times faster than B and take 60 days less than B to complete the work. In how many days does A and B individually can complete the work. Now over here again, we know that we just have to invert. N becomes 1 by n, 1 by n becomes n. Now let us see what have they given. They say A takes 60 days less than B to complete the work. That means we don't know the number of days. That means we don't know the number of days for which number of days for both of them. So let us assume that B takes n number of days to complete the work. So the same work completed by A in how many days? N minus 60. N minus 60. If B is taking n days, then A will take n minus 60 days according to given condition. Now let's go on to another thing. What is the first sentence? A can work 5 times faster than B. What does that mean? A can work 5 times faster than B. Means A equals to 5 into B. That means B is 5 times slower than A. And we know slower person which is there will take more time to complete the work. If we do the work slowly, we will need more time. If we work slowly, we will need more time. So B is 5 times slower than A. That means B will take 5 times more time than A. B equals to 5 times more time than A. That means if A is doing a work in just 1 minute, in how many minutes B will do the work? 5 into 1 minute. That will be 5 minutes. So this proves that if B is doing the work in 5 minutes, A will do it in 1 minute. That means A is 5 times faster than B. So over here, if B is taking n days to complete the work, how many days A takes? A takes n minus 60, and n minus 60 is nothing but 1/5 of days taken by B. So if B is taking n days, A is taking n minus 60 days, and n minus 60 equals to n by 5. Because A is 5 times faster than B. That means, what that means? That means time taken by A will be 1/5 of the time taken by B. So in this case, because see here, it is 5 minutes and here it is 1 minute, that is 1/5. Same way over here. If time taken by B is n days and A will take n by 5 days, and that is nothing but n minus 60 as per second condition. So what we will have over here? See, 5 and minus n equals to 60, simplify it and you will get n equals to 15 days needed by A to complete the work individually. And days needed by B to complete the work, it will be 5. N means 5 into 15, which comes out to be 75 days. See how I will explain this thing to you one more time. What is the statement? A is 5 times faster than B. Means A equals to 5 times B. And if A takes, we suppose that if A, here it is suppose B, here it is A. If B takes n days, then A will take n minus 60 days according to given situation. And as it is 5 times, means n by 5 will be equals to n minus 60, as A is 5 times faster than B according to given. On simplification, simplify it, what you will get? Implies n equals to cross multiply, you will get 5n minus 5 into 6, 3300. implies 5n minus n, and 300 on other side, it will become positive. You will get 4n equals to 300. You will get 4n equals to 300, implies n equals to 75 days. So n is 75 and a is n by 5, means 75 upon 5 means 15 days. So A is taking 15 days, whereas B is taking 75 days. So these are number of days. These are number of days taken by B to complete the work individually, and A takes, that would be just, you can see 15 is nothing but 1/5 of 75. 1/5 of 75 is nothing but 15, equal to 15. So both the values are same. So our answer is correct. So A takes 15 days and B takes 75 days to do the same work. See how easy it was. Now moving on to next question. Moving on to next question. See, A can work 5 times faster than B and take 60 days less. No, it is question number. Moving on to question number 2. If 24 men can finish a work in 10 days, then find the number of days required to complete the same work by 30 men. Here again, using this tip in this question. What is it? Now over here, I tell you what a common mistake do people do. What do? They read the sum. This is very easy. I will explain you what the mostly people do. Most of the students think this is very easy question. How they approach? See, now over here, they read the sum. 24 men take 10 days. Okay. And what is the mistake? And they have to find 30 men. How many days? Okay. Now what they do, 30 men will take how many days? They will simply cross multiply. They will simply cross multiply. And what they will get? 24 into question mark equals to 30 into 10. So question mark will be 3,300 upon 24. 24, 1, 24. So they will get question mark as 12.5 days. They do it like this, but this answer is wrong. This answer is wrong. Why it is wrong? What we have learned at the start, if number of men increases from 24 to 30, if number of men increase, days should decrease. What we have read in the beginning, if man increases, days decreases. But here, man increases. See, days also increases. Here, man increases from 24 to 30. And on solving, answer will be increased from 10 days to 12.5 days. So how it is possible? So this answer is wrong. If number of men increase from 24 to 30, if number of men increase, days should decrease. But here days have increased from 10 days to 12.5 days, even though the number of men have increased from 24 to 30. So this is the wrong approach. So how to solve these kind of sums? These are very easy. You don't have to do anything. That small tip, what we learned about inversion, that we have to use. See, in the slide also, I have mentioned that tip. See in this slide, what is the tip? What was the inversion tip? If we have n, just invert it to 1 by n to 1 by n. Now let us see what have they given. 24 men finished the entire work in 10 days. 24 men in 10 days. In one day, how much work is done? Simply invert. What do we get? 10 to 1 by 10. We invert the number of days. We get 1 by 10 amount of work. So 30 men will finish the entire work in how many days? We don't know. So over here, what we know, 24 men in one day do 1 by 10 amount of work. So 30 men in one day, how much work would they do? We don't know. So we will now cross multiply. So on cross multiplication, here question mark is over here. Here it is question mark. Okay? Okay. So 30 man in one day will complete 1 by 8 amount of work. So this is the work. This is not number of days. This is the amount of work done in one day by 30 men. So if in one day 1 by 8 amount of work is done, total amount of work would be done in how many days? Just invert. What we get? 8 days. That we saw over there at the start. If the total work is done in 30 days, then in one day, 1 by 30 amount of work is done because of inversion. In same way over here, if 1 by 8 amount of work is done in one day, then total amount of work is done is in 8 days. We just need to invert, as if 1 by 8 amount of work is done in one day. So if you add 8 times, then you will get 8 by 8 equals to 1. That is the entire work is done. Full work is done. So we just need to invert and we will get the amount of days. Now, before moving on to next question, I will explain this to you on the board also. See how we simplify it or how we solve it. See how we cross multiply on taking inversion. See how, what is the statement? 24 men. Tip is on, you have to invert and you have to find the one day work. You always remember this tip. So amount of work done in one day is 1 by 10. Okay. Now 30 men in how many days? Simply cross multiply it now. Simply cross multiply. You will get 24 into question mark equals to 30 into 1 by 10. Here 0 will be cancelled out and question mark will be 3 upon 24. On cutting you will get 1 by 8. See how easy it was. 30 man. This is one day work. Remember, you have to write here one day work always. 30 men in one day will complete 1 by 8 amount of work. If 1 by 8 amount of work is done in one day, then total work done is in 8 days. How 8 days? Simply invert 1 by 8. Simply invert 1 by 8. Now moving on to next question. See the statement of the question. A can do a work in 3 days. B can do same work in 6 days. And C can do the same work in 7 days. If they work together, in how many days will they take to complete the work? Here, A can do the work in 3 days. We have to use simply tip. If A completes one by n amount of work in 1 day, he completes entire work in n days. Here it is n. Here it is n. Now, how to solve these kinds of sum? Always remember, in most of the sums related to time and work, pipes and system, you will need to find 1 day work. What you have to do? 1 day work. And then you can proceed from here. Let us see how to do that. A can complete the entire work in 3 days. So in 1 day, how much work would be completed by A? Simply invert. 1/3 amount of work can be done by A in 1 day. Simply invert. B can complete the work in 6 days. In 1 day, how much work he will do? Simply invert 1/6. C can complete the entire work in 7 days. In 1 day, how much work he will do? Simply invert 1/7. Now these are 1 day work done by A, B and C. What they say? If they start working together, that means A, B and C start working together. So in 1 day, how much work will A, B and C do? Simply A plus B plus C means work done by A in 1 day plus work done by B in 1 day plus work done by C in 1 day. What we will get? A plus B plus C equals to 1/3 plus 1/6 plus 1/7. So together A, B, C, when they started working, when they are working together, they will finish 1/3 amount of work plus 1/6 amount of work plus 1/7 amount of work in 1 day. On taking LCM, you will get 9/14 amount of work. So we will have 9/14. That would be 9/14 amount of work is done by A, B, and C in just 1 day. This is not the number of days. This is not the entire work done. It is just 1 day work of A, B, and C together. If A, B, and C can complete 9/14 amount of work in 1 day, then in how many days they will complete the entire work? Simply invert. What do we get? 14/9 days. 14/9 days are taken by A, B, and C when working together to complete the entire work. See how easy it was. You just have to invest. First find the 1 day work, then add them, and then find the entire work done. So this is the trick. Just try to find 1 day work and then use the inversion techniques. I will explain you this on the board also. See how we find 1 day work and then on taking LCM, how we simplify it. See what is the statement. Here I have write A, B, and C. Now see, A takes 3 days to complete the work, but I want 1 day. This is the tip and trick. And you know, for 1 day you have to simply invert. So 1/3. Now next 6 days. So in 1 day, simply invert 1/6 amount of work will be done, and by C takes 7 days. Simply invert. Simply invert. This is the trick. You have to remember this trick. You have to simply invert. What you will get? 1/7 amount of work is done by C in 1 day. First of all, you have to find out the 1 day work always. This is the trick. Now they work together. They work together Now in one day, how much A, B and C will work in one day? A will work 1 by 3. B will work 1 by 6. And C will work 1 by 7. In my previous lecture, I I taught you about LCM, how to find LCM. So on taking LCM, 3 divide 6, so leave it 6 and 7, 6 into 7, 42. So LCM is 42. Now divide 3 by 42, what you will get? 14. Now divide 6 with 42, 7. Now divide 7 with 42, what you will get? 6. Now add all these. You will get 27. On dividing it with the help of 3 table. 3 nines are, you will get 9 by 40. So A, B and C combined work, how much amount? 9 by 14 amount of work in one day. They will do 9 by 14 work. So how much days they will take just invert? This is amount of work in one day. In how many days they will complete? They will complete the work. Just invert. Just invert. What you will get? You will get 14 by 9 days. They will take 14 by 9 days. See how easy. Just try to find one day work and then use the inversion trick to solve, to find number of days. Now moving on to question number 4. P and Q can do a work in 12 days. Q and R can do the same work in 16 days, and R and P can do it in 24 days. Find the time in which P, Q and R can finish the work together. Again, very easy. You just need to remember, find the one day work and invert. Find one day work and simply invert. Now what they have given, P and Q can complete the entire work in 12 days. In one day, how much work would be done by them? Simply invert 1 by 12. That is 1 by 12 amount of work. Same way, Q and R can complete the entire work in 16 days. So in one day, how much amount of work would be done by them? Simply invert 1 by 16. Now R and P can complete the entire work in 24 days. In one day, how much? Just invert 1 by 24. In the previous sum, what we have did was we added the individual one day work, A plus B plus C. So 1 by 2 is nothing but 1 by, is nothing but one day work of P plus Q. 1 by 16 is nothing but one day work of Q plus one day work of R. We have simply find one day work of the given. And 1 by 24 is one day work of R and one day work of P. Now add these three. What do we get? We get P plus Q, Q plus R and R plus P. It would be 1 by 12 plus 1 by 16 plus 1 by 24. And on simplification, you will get 2 times P plus Q plus R will be 3 by 16. So here, what do we have? We have to find out the time in which P, Q and R can finish the work together. So P, Q and R over here, it is 2 times P plus Q plus R. So take 2 on right hand side. What you will get? P plus Q plus R will be 3 by 32. This is nothing but the work done by P, Q and R together in just one day. This is not the entire work done. This is not the number of days. This is work done by P, Q, and R in one day. Here we had 2 times P, Q, and R because see the alphabets over here are double P, P, Q, Q, R, R. P plus Q plus R is work done by P, Q, and R together in one day. That is 3 by 32. If in one day P, Q, and R while working together complete 3 by 32 amount of work, in how many days entire work would be done? Simply in what? That would be 32 by 3 days. So the amount of time taken by P, Q, and R to finish the work together is 32 by 3 days. I will explain this on the board also. See how we will solve it. See. Tip and trick is simply invert and find one day work. Simply invert and find one day work. In statement, what is the statement? P and Q, in short, I will write P and Q. They will take 12 days. But according to our trick, I have to find one day. In one day, how much amount of work is done by P and Q? Simply invert. I will get 1 by 12. Continuing the statement, P and Q, then Q and P. Q and P will take 16 days. Q and P will take 16 days. Now simply invert, what you will get? 1 by 16. Then R and P will take 24 days. Simply invert it, what you will get? You will get 1 by 24. So this is work, amount of work done by PQ means P plus Q. This is Q plus P. This will be R plus P. Now on adding all these, what you will get? On at suppose say this is first, this is second, and this is third equation. Suppose on adding you will get P plus Q, right? It's this side. Next term in next equation, Q plus P, Q plus P. Right, it's next 1 by 16. Then R plus P, and then here it is 1 by 24. Now on adding, clearly observe P is coming 2 times. P, Q, and here it is R. Here it is R. R. Now P and P. So 2 times P. Q and Q. 2 times Q. R and R. 2 times R. Okay, now taking LCM over here, what you will get? 48. Now divide 12 with 48. 4, 16 with 48. 3, 24 with 48. 2. Now add 4 plus 2, 6. 6 plus 3, 9. 9 upon 48. You will get 9 upon 48. On 3 table, 3 3s are 9. 3 1s are 3 6 are, you will get 3 by 16. So P, Q, and R. 2 times P, Q, and R. It will be 3 by 16. But I want one times means P, one day work of P, Q, and R. How much amount of work they will do come together. So take this 2 on right hand side. You will get 3 upon 16 into 2. 3 upon 32. So this much amount of work is done by P, Q and R in one day. But I want in how many days? For how many days? Simply invert. Simply invert. What you will get? 32 upon 3 days. What you will get? 32 upon 3 days. See how easy it was by simply remembering the tip to find one day work and then invert it. Now moving on to next question. Question number 5. See the statement of question number 5. P can do a work in this is the simplification part of same question. See, this is the simplification of previous question. Let work done. We can solve it in this way. Now moving on to next slide. Question number 5. P can do a work in 30 days. Q is 25% more efficient than P in completing the same work. In how many days will Q complete the work? Again, over here, very simple. What we have to do, invert and also have to find one day work. What they have given over here, P can complete the entire work in 30 days. So in one day, how much work is done by P? Simply invert 1 by 3 amount of work. So 1 by 30 amount of work is work done by P in just one day. Now they are given that Q is 25% more efficient than P. That means he says if P is working at 100% efficiency, then Q would be 25% more. That is 100 plus 25 means 125%. So that means if P does say one amount of work, if P does 100% amount of work, then 125% amount of work. Say if P does 1 by 30 amount of work, then simplify. Q does 125% of 1 by 35. Because say a person is 25% more efficient, if Q is 25% more efficient, say if this is P, this is Q, if P collects 100, suppose P collects 100 pebbles, how much Q will collect? 125 pebbles. So if P collects say 1 pebble, how much will Q collect? 1.25. Same way, if P collect 130 amount of pebbles, how much will Q collect? It would be 125% of 100. 125% of 1 by 30, because this 125% is nothing but 125% of 100, that is the work done by P. So 1.25 is nothing but 125% of 1, that is work done by P. Same way 125% of P. Because Q is doing more work than P, so if P does 1 by 30 amount of work in one day, Q will do 125% times that work. I will explain you this on the board first and then I will come to slide. See on the board. P takes 30 days. Now simply invert. What you will get? 1 upon 30. Okay. 1 upon 30 amount of work done in one day. Moving to this example of pebbles, and Q do 125% of 1 upon 30. How, moving to the example of pebbles, if P suppose 100, P is 100%, then Q is 125%, because Q is 25% more efficient. If P collect one pebble, then Q will collect 1.25 pebbles. If P do 1 by 30 amount of work, then similarly Q will do 125% of 1 by 30 amount of work. Here, if P is P do 1 upon 30 amount of work. So simplify it, what you will get? How we remove percent? Simply divide by 1 by 100. Simply divide it by 100. Off means multiply, and here it is 1 upon 30. On 25 table, 25 fours are 25 fives are 5 sixes are, you will get 1 upon 24. You will get 1 upon 20. Q does 1 by 24 amount of work in one day if P does 1 by 30 amount of work in one day. Or if we does 1 by 30 amount of work, Q is 25% more efficient. So Q does 1 by 24 amount of work in one day. If in one day 1 by 24 amount of work is done, then total work is done in how many days? Simply invert. What we get, simply invert it. What we get 24 days. Now see this in PPT, moving to the slide of PPT. Then total work is done in how many days? Simply invert what we get, 24 days. So Q finishes the entire work alone in 24 days. See how easy it was. Any type of sum, just invert and find the one day work. Now moving on to next question, question number 6. If 3 men can do a work in 2 days and 4 boys can do the same work in 6 days, then how many days will the same work be completed by 8 men and 8 boys? 8 men and 8 boys. Again, very easy. What we have to do, we have to invert and find the one day work. These two tricks we have up our sleeves. We use them to solve the sum. What have they given? 3 men takes 2 days to complete the work, and 4 boys 6 days. 2 days and 6 days means 3 times, as 6 is 2 into 3. And 4 boys to take 6 days to complete the work. Now, if you look here carefully, you will see that 4 boys take 3 times more time. What does that mean? That means the men are taking less number of days. That means men are working more. How much more are they working? They are working 3 times more. So that 3 times more than the boys. 3 men equals to 3 times 4 boys. That is the reason they take 3 times less time than the boy. This is the reason. So 3 men equals to 3 times 4 boys. We have M equals to 4B. See on the board first what he is saying. See, 3 men, 2 days, 4 boys, 6 days. This is 3 times. Now, 3 men, 3 times boys means 3 times number of boys are 4b. What you will get? 3 will be cancelled out. Man will be 4 times boys. So what they have asked, if one man is working equivalent to what 4 boys are doing. So one man is equivalent to 4 boys. We need this derivation later on. This is similar to what we did in chain rule. Now what have they given? In how many days will the same work be completed by 8 men and 8 boys? What have they given? 8 men and 8 boys in the statement. So either convert everyone into man or everyone into boy. Let us say that everyone converted into number of boys. One man is 4 times boys. So one man is 4 times boy. Here it is 4 boy plus 8 boys. 8 into 4, 32 boys plus 8 boys. You will get 32 and 8, 40 boys. You will get 40 boys. Now what do we know? 4 boys complete the entire work in 6 days. See, 4 boys complete the entire work in 6 days. Simply invert it for 1 day work. You will get 1/6 amount of work is done in 1 day. In 1 day, how much work will they do? 1/6 because just invert. Now 40 boys, they start working. We don't know in how many days they will complete the work. We don't know in 1 day. How much work do they complete? So 4 boys, 6 day means 1/6. So 40 boys. See, 4 boy amount of work done is 1/6. So here it is 40 boys. And here it is question mark. So simply cross multiply it and you will get the value of question mark as 5/3, as B will be cancelled out with B. You will get as value as 5/3. This is the amount of work done by 40 boys in just 1 day. So if in 1 day you can multiply with 2 in 1 day, 10/6 amount of work is done, or you can say 5/3 amount of work is done. Just invert it. If you don't simplify it, it will be 10/6. Just invert it and you will get the answer as number of days. You will get the answer as number of days. Now moving on to slide again. Let us see how to find. Let's see 4 boys in 1 day complete 1/6 amount of work. 40 boys in 1 day complete how much we don't know. Simply cross multiply and you will get the value of question mark as 5/3. So if in 1 day 5/3 amount of work is done, then in how many days entire work would be done? Simply invert. What is it? 3/5 days. 3/5 days. So the entire work would be done by 40 boys in 3/5 days. 40 boys is nothing but 8 men and 8 boys. So 8 men and 8 boys, when they start work, they complete the entire work in 3/5 days. Moving on to question number 7. This is the simplification of the above question. 4 boys can do work in 6 days. So one boy can do work in 4 into 6 means 24 days. Now to do the work in 2 days, we require 24 boys. So in 2 days, number of boys will be less. It will be 12 boys. You can do it like this or what I have solved on the board. Now moving on to question number 7. Sita and Geeta can do a work in 20 days and 25 days respectively. Means Sita in 20 days and Geeta in 25 days. Both begin together, but after a few days, Sita leaves. After some days, Sita leaves. Then Geeta alone finishes the remaining work in 10 days. After how many days did Sita leave? Now, this might look like a very complicated and difficult sum or a lengthy sum, but it is not. It is pretty easy to solve. I will explain you the approach how to solve these kind of sums when someone leaves or when someone joins between and all that sums. So what is the best approach to these kind of sums? The best approach is line diagram. What is the line diagram? It is nothing but just draw a line. Just draw a line of your and mention starting point and end. And the work. The work starts over here. The work starts over here. And the work ends over this. Work ended. Here work started. Here work ended. Sita and Geeta starts working together. After a few days, Sita leaves, only Geeta remains. Then remaining work is done by only Geeta in just 10 days. So Geeta completes how much work? Say this much work from here to here in 10 days. And initially Sita and Geeta both are working. Now let's see how to solve these sums. What do we know for time and work? We must find the 1 day work and we just invert. So Sita completes the entire work in 20 days. So in 1 day, how much work Sita completes? Sita completes just invert 1 by 20 amount of work in 1 day. Just invert. Geeta completes entire work in 25 days. So in 1 day, how much amount of work is done by Geeta? Just invert 1 by 25. So 1 by 25 amount of work is done by Geeta in 1 day. In 10 days, these 10 days when Geeta is working alone, how much amount of work is done by Geeta? It is simply 1 by 25. That is 1 day work into total number of days. Total number of days is 10. So 1 by 25 into 10. It will be 2 by 5. So 2 by 5 amount of work is done by Geeta in these 10 days alone. Alone by Geeta. So remaining work which is there is 3 by 5. Why 3 by 5? Because total work we know it is always 1 out of which 2 by 5 is completed. So what does the remain? 3 by 5 remains. So 3 by 5 amount of work is done by Sita plus Geeta together. So 3 by 5 amount of work is done by Sita and Geeta together. Now let us see how Sita and Geeta complete 3 by 5 amount of work. Sita and Geeta start working together. So in 1 day, how much does Sita and Geeta complete? Sita completes 1 by 20 in 1 day. And Geeta completes 1 by 25 amount of work in 1 day. So Sita plus Geeta, 1 by 20 plus 1 by 25. You will get 9 by 100 on taking LCM. You will get 9 by 100 or 45 upon, you will get 9 by 100. So Sita and Geeta complete 9 by 100 amount of work just in 1 day. Who does this complete? Completed by Sita and Geeta. Now look at here. Geeta completes the remaining work in how many days? In 10 days. How much? 10 days. Do we know for how many days Sita and Geeta are working? No, we don't know. So let us assume Sita and Geeta are working for X days or say K days. Say K days. That means after K days, Sita leaves and only Geeta is working. So let Sita and Geeta work for K days. In one day Sita and Geeta complete 9 by 100 amount of work. In K days, how much would be the work completed by Sita and Geeta? That would be nothing but one day work into number of days. So 9 over 100 into K. 9 by 100 into K. So Sita and Geeta together in K days, when they are working together in K days, complete 9K by 100 amount of work. On taking LCM of this 1 by 20 plus 1 by 25, we will get 9 by 100. But we already know Sita and Geeta together have completed 3 by 5 amount of work. So we have 9K by 100 work done by Sita and Geeta in K days, which is nothing but 3/5 work which is completed by them. 3/5 work. So when you equate 9K by 100 equal to 3 by 5, you will get value of K as 20 by 3 days. So the number of days after which Sita leaves is 20 by 3 days. Sita and Geeta work together for 20 by 3 days, and after that Sita leaves. So Sita leaves after 20 by 3 days. See how easy it was. You just have to draw this line and then find one day work and just invert and you get the answer. You can solve any kind of sum where a person leaves or comes or joins the work by using a line diagram. Moving on to question number 8. When P alone does the work, he takes 25 days, more than the time taken by P and Q together to complete the work. But Q alone takes 9 days more than the time taken by P and Q working together to complete the work. In what time P and Q together finish this work? We have to use this formula. In such cases, use the formula n equal to square root of extra days of P multiplied by extra days of Q. We will use this simple formula. Now first let us understand what exactly the sum is. It is very easy. It is very easy to solve. I will tell you how to solve it. It might look complicated right at start, but let us try to analyze what the sum is. Now P and Q are working together. Let us assume that they take an amount of days to complete the work. What they have given now is that P plus Q takes n days, and P alone 25 days more means n plus 5 days, and Q 9 days more means n plus 9 days. P alone is doing the work. P takes 25 days, 25 more days. That means n days plus 25. These many days are taken by P alone to complete the work. 25 days more than the time taken by P and Q working together. So n plus 5, 25 days are extra taken by P. Now when Q is working alone, what does Q do? Q takes 9 more days. So n plus 9. 9 days more than the time taken by P and Q working together, because we assume P and Q together finish the work in n days. So 9 extra days are taken by Q and 25 extra days are taken by P. Now we have to find out in what time P and Q together finish. Means P and Q together finish the work in n days. So we have to find the value of n. Now by our regular method of one day work and inversion and all that stuff, that would be very difficult, and it would be very difficult to solve it, and it would be really very lengthy. So just remember a very small formula. N is nothing but square root of extra days of P multiplied by extra days of Q. What does that mean? Extra days of P means P takes 25 days more than P and Q working together. So extra days of P are 25 into extra days of Q, which is 9. What is square root of 25? It is 5. Square root of 9, it is 3. So answer is 5 into 3. It is 15. So that means n is 15 days. That means P and Q together take n is nothing but 15 days. So P and Q together take just 15 days to complete the work. See how easy the formula was. The formula was nothing but amount of days or number of days taken by P and Q to complete the work. But root of extra days of P multiplied by extra days of Q, number of days taken by P and Q to complete the work is root of extra days taken by P multiplied by extra days taken by Q. Over here, extra days taken by P is 25, or as 25 days more than P and Q. Over here, extra days taken by P and Q is 9 days more than P and Q. So we have to find how many days P and Q will take. Just remember this small formula and you will be able to solve this sum. Now moving on to question number 9. See question number 9. A can complete a work in 12 days and B can complete in 8 days. A works for 8 hours every day while B works for 10 hours every day. A and B together start working 8 hours per day. In how many days will they complete the work? Now take a look over here. What happens is very, very easy sum. It is same what we do. Only thing is that here we have time in two formats. We have time in two formats. One is day and other is hour. So it is much better to convert everything into hours. It is not as if that one day means 24 hours. That means if a person is working for 12 days, so it does not mean that the person is working 24 hours every day. The person is working only for 8 hours or 10 hours as per given condition. So A completes the work in 12 days. So every day how many hours does A work? 8 hours. So total, how many hours does A takes to complete the entire work? 12 into 8, that is 96 hours. If 12 days, 8 hours means 12 into 8 equals to 96 hours. So if A works for 12 days, every day 8 hours, then A can complete the work. That means A can complete the entire work in 96 hours. Same way, B takes how many days to complete the work? 8 days. How many hours does B takes to complete the work? 10 days every day. So B 8 days, 10 hour means 8 into 10 means 80 hours. Now if A complete the entire work in 96 hours, in 1 hour, how much work is done by A? Invert 1 by 96. In 1 hour, how much work is done by B? Simply invert 1 by 80. Why? Just invert. So 1 by 96 is work done by A in 1 hour, 1 by 80 is work done by B in 1 hour. Now A and B start working together. So A plus B equal to 1 by 96 plus 1 by 80. On simplification, you will get 160 upon 96 into 80. So in 1 hour, how much work is done by A and B? 1 by 96. Work done by A and work done by B, 176 over 96 into 80. This is the amount of work done by A and B in just 1 hour. Now A and B, they work 8 hours per day. In 1 hour, A and B complete 176 over 96 into 80 amount of work. In how many hours will the total work be done? Just in what do we get? 96 into 80 upon 176 hours will be needed by A and B to complete the entire work. Now we have to find the number of days for which A and B are working together. Now we know the number of hours. We have to exactly the opposite. Here what we did, we multiplied by number of hours and we got the total hours. And now we have to find the number of days. So do exactly opposite. For which A and B are working. Now we know number of hours. We have to do the exactly opposite. Here what we did, we multiply by number of hours. We got the total hours. We want to find the days. Every day, if A and B are working for 8 hours, so in how many days will A and B complete the work? That is nothing but 96 into 80 upon 176 upon 8. Because 8 hours every day. So number of days found out to be 96 into 80 upon 176 into 8, it will be 60 upon 11. So number of days taken are 60 upon 11. So 60 upon 11 days are taken by A and B. See if they have asked taken by A and B when working together to complete the entire work, and every day they will work only for 8 hours. See if they ask How many hours will A and B can take to complete the entire work? 96 into 80 upon 176 hours be the answer. But they have asked how many days? That too, it is not if one day is 24 hours or everything every day. A and B are working for 24 hours. No, they are working only for 8 hours. So we have to divide by 8. When we divide by 8, we get answer as 60 by 11. So A and B working 8 hours per day together. They will complete the entire work in 60 by 11 hours. Now moving on to question number 10. Raj can build a house alone in 60 days, but here it is Suraj alone can build it in 12 days. Raj and Suraj work on alternate days. If Raj works on first day, the house will be built in how many days? Here it is given Raj started the work. Who started the work? Raj. They work alternatively. Again, this looks like a difficult sum or complicated sum because here we don't have regular format of both working together. Here we have alternate days. Both are working on alternate days, but still this is a very easy sum by common logic. You can solve it. I will tell you how to solve such kinds of sum. What is the approach? What approach should be in exams? On practice, you will be able to solve this sum in just 1 minute. You might think that this sum is very lengthy and all that stuff, but in exam, you will be able to solve it in just 1 minute. Let us see how. Now, what I learned from time and work just in word and find one day work. Now over here, Raj completes the entire work in 16 days. So in one day, how much work is done by him? 1 by 16. Suraj takes 112 days. In one day, just in what? 1 by 12. First Raj, then Suraj, then Raj, then Suraj, then Raj, then Suraj, and so on. Suraj completes the entire work in 12 days alone. So in one day, how much work is done by him? 1 by 12. We just invert. Now what happens is that they have given the Raj and Suraj work on alternate days. First day Raj works, so second day Suraj will work, third day Raj work, then so on. First day, how much work is done? 1 by 16. Because Raj is working. In one day, Raj completes 1 by 16 amount of work. On second day, how much work is done? 1 by 12. Why? Because on second day, Suraj is working. And Suraj done 1 by 12 amount of work in one day. So in 2 days total, 1 by 16 plus 1 by 12. On simplification, you will get 7 by 48. You will get 7 by 48. How much that would be? That is nothing but 7 by 48. This much amount of work is done in 2 days. Now take a look over here. In 2 days, Raj and Suraj works. Next 2 days, Raj and Suraj work. Again, next 2 days, Raj and Suraj work. That means this get repeated. In first 2 days, 7 by 48 amount of work is done. Next 2 days, again 7 by 48 amount of work is done. So 7 by 48 means 2 days. This unit get repeated. If we repeat it for 6 days, means 6 times. What will we get? So if we repeat this 2 days unit for 6 times, how many days we will get? We will get 12 days. And what would be the work done? It would be 7 by 48 into 6 means 7 by 8 amount of work is done in 12 days. Now you will ask, why do we repeat this 6 times? Why not 7? Let us see. Now over here, say if we repeat 7 times, what do we get? Number of days would be 2 into 7 means number of days would be 14. And amount of work done would be 7 by 48 into 7. It is 49 by 48, and 49 by 48 is greater than 1. Work done can never be greater than 1. Work done can never be greater than 1. Whenever we are building a house or whenever we are painting something like that, we cannot quantify work. So we generally take the work done to be 1. So here work done cannot be greater than 1. So we cannot take 7 times. So we have to take such a multiple which gives us work less than 1. So for 6 times, we get less than 1, that is 7 by 8. So now after this, how much work left? 1 minus 1 by 7 means 1 by 8 amount of work is remaining. Now 12 days have already passed. How many days have passed? 12 days have already passed. Now on 13th day, who will come to work? Who will come to work on 13th day? How much work he'll do in one day? 13th day, Raj complete 1 by 16 amount of work in one day. Now 1 by 8 is greater than 1 by 16. That means Raj cannot complete 1 by 8 amount of work on 13th day. He completes less. That is 1 by 16 only on 13th day. So how much work is left? 1 by 8 minus 1 by 16. It is 1 by 16. So 1 by 16 amount of work is still left. Now the 14th day starts. Who will come to work? Suraj. Suraj complete how much in one day? 1 by 12. But we already know 1 by 12 is greater than 1 by 16. It is like, say, in one day I make 100 toys and they are asking me, then in how many days, how much time will you complete 60 toys? So that is less than, so amount of work needed for me would be less than one day. If Suraj is doing 1 by 12 amount of work in one day, then 1 by 16, which is less than 1 by 12. In how much time will he complete? Let us find out. It is nothing but how much is 1 by 16 of 1 by 12? 1 by 16 is what fraction of 1 by 12? 1 by 16 equals to x into 1 by 12. You will find x is 3 by 4. That means 1 by 16 is 3/4 of 1 by 12. That is, if Suraj complete 1 by 12 amount of work in one day, he will complete 1 by 16th amount of work in how many days? Simply cross multiply like previous, you will get 3 by 4. So now 13 days are complete and on 14th day only 3 by 4 amount of days has been used. So total number of time or total number of days taken by Raj and Suraj to complete the house would be 13 into 3 by 4 days. See how easily using the invert rule and finding the one day work rule helps you solve all the sums related to time and work. If it is complicated and tricky sum, you can solve it using common logic and inversion rule. In exam with practice, you will be able to solve these sums in just 1 minute. So need not worry, just practice and you will be able to master time and work. I will share the cross multiplication on board also. See how. Write here work and write here days. Work is 1 by 12, 1, and here it is 1 by 16, and here it is question mark. Simply cross multiply and you will get the value of question mark as 3 by 4.